Hey guys, this is Comics G-Man again. Just here for a little quick reaction video, nothing too long this time. I just finished watching The Dark Knight Rises again for like the millionth time in my life, probably. I picked up a 4K version of it, the 4K UHD copy. I played it on my PS5. And I gotta tell you, man, the 4K copy is just unbelievable. The colors, the picture looks fucking phenomenal. Like, I don't even remember this movie looking this good. I mean, I remember it looking good in the movies and stuff, but when I was watching it on the Blu-rays or like just on TV over the years, like, I don't remember it being like this. It looked great and it sounded great. It really did. Now, I just want to talk about why I think The Dark Knight Rises is underrated, and I'd like to talk about why I feel like it doesn't deserve to be considered the worst of the Dark Knight Trilogy. And as I grew older now, I would say I don't even think there is a bad Dark Knight movie or a Batman Begins. Like, all three of these movies are fantastic. They're amazing. And, you know, I know that's a common opinion that most people have, but I was one of these guys over the years that was pretty critical on the Dark Knight Trilogy. I started off not liking Batman Begins because I went to see it when I was like really young, and it freaked me out a bit, and we had to leave the movie theater, which I find kind of ironic because Bruce had to leave the theater in that movie, and that's what got his parents killed. And secondly, I never liked The Dark Knight. When I used to be in school, all the fucking annoying bastards used to talk about it and say how it was like the best thing ever. And I was kind of a contrarian, I mean, with good reason though, because the people in school at the time, they were a bunch of pricks and bastards. So I felt like to have my own individuality, my own kind of thoughts about things, I had to go my own path and be a bit of a contrarian. Because everybody had the same opinion, and it used to just kind of bore me and annoy the hell out of me. But The Dark Knight Rises, when I went to see that in the theaters with my grandpa back in like when it came out, I actually did like the movie, but I wasn't like super impressed with it. But I did like it. I wasn't as critical as I was with The Dark Knight. But over the years, I've grown to like these movies more, and that's saying a lot because I'm somebody who is really hard on even especially the Heath Ledger version. But now watching these movies over again, I gotta say I take back a lot of it, but for different reasons. But like for Dark Knight Rises specifically, I think this movie was solid. I mean, it's fluid, you know, it's got a really good story. It does a lot of throwbacks to the Batman Begins movie also, which I really appreciate. And I actually like the Catwoman in this, the Anne Hathaway, which is funny because I couldn't stand her back in the day. But I think the Catwoman in this was great. I think she did a good job. And, you know, I think one of the things that people had a problem with The Dark Knight Rises was there are a lot of plot holes that even kind of bother me a little bit even now, but it doesn't bother me to the extent that I think this is a shit or stupid movie or like it deserves the crap it gets. Like, one example is when Bruce is thrown into the pit that Bane had him thrown into to watch Gotham be destroyed. I mean, Bane, before that, when they had a fight, he breaks his back, like he breaks him. He throws him on his knee and snaps his back in half, which is an obvious reference, a throwback to the, I think they were the Chuck Dixon runs of Batman, the Nightfall comics, which is also famously like kind of made fun of or not taken as seriously, I guess. But I think in the Nightfall comics, Azrael takes over. He takes the helm as Batman, but that's not important because that's not really this movie isn't a Chuck Dixon comic run or based off of that totally. It just takes some things from that run, which I think are pretty cool. But anyway, he breaks his back, right? And then he ends up in the pit. We all know he ends up in the pit that he's trying to climb, and he never gets through it. He somehow he somehow heals his back when the doctor ties him up on a rope and he has him hanging up, and he says you're gonna be staying up like this until you could stand on your feet. I guess this is possible, but I mean, in the time span of the bomb in Gotham, that is like on a 5 months, for him to recover this quick, I guess is a bit questionable. So there's that, and there's the other plot hole. Like there's one little plot hole, I would say, where like they're making the plan to stop the bomb, and he's talking to Catwoman in this one scene, if I remember, and it's like kind of early in the morning, kind of dark, the sun's not out yet, and he's saying like, we got 45 minutes to stop the bomb or something. I might have heard it wrong. And then the next scene is when the cops are like coming down like it's the 300 movie, and they're all about to beat down on Bane's goons and everything, but it's like it looks like it's 10 in the morning. So like there's like little details like that they kind of messed up on, that kind of like make you like that doesn't make sense if we're going on a realism thing here. And I could name you like a few other things like that of the movie, but overall, like all right, so it's still, I know people are going to be, there's some people who will be, oh well, it's a superhero movie, it doesn't have to be realistic. And then you have the other camp that's like, but it is super realistic, and that's what makes the Christopher Nolan movie so special, is because how realistic it is. But forget about that, because I'm not basing this movie off of is it realistic or not. I'm not watching the Batman movies, me personally now, like I'm not watching these anymore to be like, oh, is this the most realistic take on a Batman that I could watch, and is this realistic? Like, no, like maybe my teenage self was like that, you know, maybe a lot of us were like that, and that's why a lot of people cling to these movies, because it was like, this is a new dark take on the Batman, this is the most realistic, you know, that kind of bullshit. But on its face, how do these movies stand up as Batman films? And I have to say, not only do they exceed expectations, but they fucking blow the roof. These movies blow the roof. Rises is still good because well, I'm just looking through the scenes here to just to relook at some of the scenes. He's just talking to Morgan Freeman here, but like even just down to the part where Tom Hardy's performance as Bane is fantastic. He's great. And the things that they do in this, like when they raid the stock market, I mean, come on, you can't tell me. I mean, just when the guy is sitting on the chair and Bane goes up to him, he's like, well, what are you doing here? There's no money to steal here. And Bane is like, well, why are you all here? Like, I mean, it's simple, but it's fucking great. I love it. And just you know what, one thing that bothers me about the Christopher Nolan trilogy now, like literally this is the only thing that bothers me. Like I don't know, you guys probably know this better, all the nerds and nerdettes who know more of the details than I do, but like it's probably because they have to use like specific cameras for different kinds of like scenes. Like when they do the action scenes, when you're watching on a Blu-ray or a 4K on your PS5, or probably even on the regular TV, it's like the action scenes, the big scenes, the camera is like zoom, like there's no black borders anymore, you know? It's a full picture. It takes up your whole TV screen, and it looks great, and the picture looks almost perfect, you know? But then most of the movie, when it's like dialogue or when it's not as important of an action going on, it goes back to that like standard 16:9 or border, like with the black borders, you know? And I always zoom in anyway, because I even though it cuts off the picture, I zoom in because I like to see every detail like up close like that, you know? But I wish they would film the entire thing with whatever camera they use for those action scenes, because not only does the action look fantastic, but like the picture quality, it just looks perfect, you know? But I get why they probably, it probably has something to do with time, money, and maybe the camera is more expensive to use, or maybe it has something to do with that they were filming it for the IMAX or something. I don't know. If you guys know about it, you could talk about it on the comments, whatever. But secondly, like, you know, one thing that kind of bothered me about the I was looking through some posts about why people thought this iteration of the Dark Knight was so terrible, and there are valid points. Like, I'm not saying, like, I'm not like this type of person. You see this type of person all over the internet. Like, any criticism of something you like it's out the window, and anybody who criticizes what I like is a piece of garbage and you're a piece of shit. I'm not that type of person at all. I could understand why somebody will watch this and say this movie is trash, you know? But for me, I'm loving it. And, like, for example, I was watching The Dark Knight last week, and my whole family, like, they didn't like it at all. Like, they fell asleep on it. And it's funny, because when we all watched it, like, 10 years ago or more, they all liked it. I wasn't crazy about it, but they thought it was good. Now they hate it. It's really strange how tastes change and how things change as we grow and get older and see things differently, you know? But I find myself, like, I love The Dark Knight now. I think Heath Ledger is fantastic. I'm joining the crowd on that. I'm 13, 15 years late on that, but I have to say he was great. But secondly, there was this one thread that I was reading, not a Reddit thing. I was just looking up, like, Dark Knight Rises is the worst Dark Knight movie. I searched that up just to see what comes up. And there was this one odd post. I don't know if I'll be able to find it again. But these people were saying how this movie was terrible because it's propaganda for the police. Like, it's a pro-cop propaganda film. Now, I don't know if I really feel that way. I think some of their arguments, I understand what they're saying, but I'm not really getting that from the movie. I mean, maybe that the cops get trapped in the sewers. Oh, that's another plot hole I thought was stupid, how every cop in Gotham ends up trapped in the sewers. That was a pretty dumb thing. I wasn't crazy about that idea either. But, like, it shows the cops in a certain way. But it's like, what do you expect? Like, what are you talking about? Police propaganda. Like, what else is there going to be when you have a whole thing of the League of Shadows? They take over the whole city with just a few of them. Oh, hold on. Sorry about that, guys. Just had to stop the video for a second. Well, what was I going on about? I was talking about that thread about the police propaganda. So, like, I'm not really getting that. Like, what I was trying to say is, like, these people were complaining about the police propaganda of the movie, but it's like, what else is supposed to happen, right? Like, so the League of Shadows threatens the entire city with the neutron bomb that they took from Bruce Wayne and Fox, that they created it wasn't even a neutron bomb. It was like a machine to have kind of unlimited sustainable energy for the future. And Bane took that scientist in the beginning of the movie to turn that into a bomb, you know. And because the League of Shadows, you know, they're still trying to do what Ra's al Ghul was trying to do in Batman Begins, to bring down Gotham and destroy the civilization, which they've been doing for like centuries with all the civilizations that end up decaying and need to be put in line, in their words, I guess. But, like, okay, so anyway, criticizing the propaganda thing that they were talking about. So what are you supposed to do with the police if you're writing a story like this? Like, if this was to happen, like, how else are you supposed to depict the police in this? Like, what are the police supposed to do? Is Gordon supposed to just not do anything? Is Joseph Gordon-Levitt, the guy who plays Robin in this, is he just supposed to hate cops and just be like, well, they're pains in the asses anyway, we're going to keep them in the sewers and just let Batman do everything? And then they couldn't even do that because Batman disappeared. So, like, what is supposed to be the opposing force to the League of Shadows? Like, if you don't have, like, the police and those kind of people in this movie, then what would you replace them with, an opposing force to the League of Shadows taking over Gotham? The citizens? No, because the citizens, I mean, half of them are hiding in their houses, not wanting anything to do with all this insanity. But the other half of them are probably joining the ranks because they're believing what Bane is saying about take back the city, and I am giving you the instrument to take back your freedom. And he's saying a lot of stuff that's like, you know, sounds like pro-revolutionary stuff, pro-anarchy, and frankly, that's one of the things that I always. That's one of the reasons why I never even hated this movie totally, because I thought the Tom Hardy depiction of Bane was fucking awesome, and I like some of the things that he says, and he's not like the Heath Ledger Joker, in terms of what he does, but he's like if you took Heath Ledger's Joker and actually made him succeed in what he was trying to say in the second movie. Like, you guys remember the ferry scene in Dark Knight, and Heath Ledger, he like is trying to show that the people are animals when it comes down to it, and that they would blow each other up, and Batman is like, you're wrong, the people in this city, you're wrong about them, blah blah blah. I personally think it would have been way cooler if he did succeed, Heath Ledger's Joker, and it would have made like the Batman question certain things. That would have been a whole different story. But basically, the Bane actually succeeds a little bit, and he takes over all of Gotham, and he gets some of the people to join him. And I mean, come on, you can't deny like those scenes where they're having them be judged with Cillian Murphy, the actor who is playing the Scarecrow character. He's like the judge. And you can't tell me that scene is not cool. Like, I always thought that was fucking cool. Oh, death or exile. And I always laugh at that part where, like, Jim Gordon is like, you know you can't make us walk on that ice, Crane. And Crane is like, fine, death. Death by exile. Like, I love that line. It's so cool. So, like, you got a lot of cool shit going on in this movie. And I'm starting to question, like, why is it still kind of the underdog in the trilogy? You know, you kind of have a lot more of the concepts of 1 and 2 being explored here and being expanded on. And when I talk about, like, when they go back to Batman Begins, you know, like, there's the scene where Christian Bale, Bruce, is like, keeps failing. He keeps failing when he's trying to climb the pit. And he thinks back to his father, like that scene in Batman Begins where he's like, Bruce, why do we fall? And then, you know, it's so we could get back up again. And it's like this really cool thing. And when the Batman is just about to save the city from the bomb, and he's going to fly off with it, and Jim Gordon asks him, like, don't you think people should know who saved Gotham? Don't you think we should know who's saving us? And instead of him saying, it's me, Bruce, he tells him, it's like what he did in Batman Begins. He tells Jim, he's like, sometimes being a hero is putting a coat around a little boy and telling him everything's going to be okay. And then Jim, you know, as Batman is flying away, he figures out, he says, Bruce Wayne? And then it shows you the scene where Jim Gordon, before he was even commissioner, he's talking to Bruce when he was a kid and he lost his parents and he's putting his coat around him. Like, that was, I love when they do that stuff. That's when you do it right. And they're referring also to what they did in Batman Begins, if you remember, when Rachel, when Scarecrow had his gas throughout the Narrows in the first movie. Rachel, I don't remember exactly what she said. I think she said something similar to Jim. Like, she said, like, I think she was saying, like, who are you? Or what, I don't remember what she said. And then Batman said to her, oh my god, it's slipping my mind what he said to her. But he didn't say directly, I'm Bruce. It's me, Bruce. Like, he said, oh, you know what it was that he said to her? There was that scene, remember when they were showing him when he was young? When they were showing Bruce when he was young in Batman Begins? And he wanted to kill off the guy who killed his parents in the alley. And he was being... The murderer was on trial and he was being let off because he gave information about Falcone. And as he's walking by, he didn't kill him. One of Falcone's people killed him before he could do it. And then he told Rachel, like, I went there because I was going to go kill him. And she was telling him, like, how his father would be ashamed of himself or something. There was something that she said to him, a quote, and then he just regurgitated the quote back to her and flew away. And I just thought that was so awesome, you know? That was such a great scene. And I love that they did that too with Jim in this movie. And I guess another plot hole would be, how the hell did Batman get away from the bomb so fast at the end of the movie? I mean, I think they gave you an answer, and it kind of went over my head a little bit when Lucius was looking at one of the flying bat machines. I forgot what they called it in this, and he's talking to like one of the guys looking over it, and he's like, "Oh no, somebody did change the software of this machine 6 months ago." He's like, "Well, who would have changed the software to this machine?" So Bruce Wayne changed it. That was the. They were saying that it somehow affected. Did he put it on autopilot or something? I kind of missed that. You guys could fill me in. I don't want to go back and look at that exact detail. But overall, that was always kind of a thing that made me wonder, how did he get away from that so fast? But I'm not criticizing that, because I prefer that Bruce survives at the end, because I think, like, even when I was reading that bullshit about this being a pro-cop propaganda movie, they were saying, yeah, and after all that, and after the cops come back and take over Gotham and everything's back to normal, and then we're all supposed to feel good that, oh look, Michael Caine, the Alfred, it goes to that restaurant that he talked about in the beginning of the movie, and look, he sees Christian Bale with Anne Hathaway happy, and we're all supposed to be happy with that. Like, what? Dude, what are you talking about? I love that. I love that they did that. Like, I like that a lot, man. That Alfred got satisfaction and sees that Bruce was okay, and he's having dinner with Catwoman, and that they're together. I like that a lot. I don't understand what's wrong with that. Am I missing something there? Did you guys like how they ended it good like that too, like me, or am I just a fucking idiot? Well, anyway, I mean, just to go off of that, I think Dark Knight Rises deserves a little more praise, and I think it's a great movie, and you guys should watch it again if you I mean, I've seen this movie God knows how many times. Even when I wasn't crazy about it, I just like to watch it anyway. But for some reason today I'm watching it, you know, and I'm saying, like, this is fucking fantastic. This was great. I think this was a great end to the trilogy. And I'll end on one last thing. I do remember people making fun of the Joseph Gordon-Levitt thing, that it's like, oh, how goofy. We don't even call him Dick in this. Like, his real name is Robin. That, like, you find out at the end, like, his legal name is Robin. And then he goes to find the Batcave, and obviously he's going to be the next Batman. He's not even going to be a Robin, right? Like, I guess he's not even going to be a Robin. How could he be a Robin when Batman is retired and he's with Catwoman? But you can't tell me you wouldn't. I would have liked to seen a movie with Joseph Gordon-Levitt playing as Batman or something like that. I think that would have been sick, because I like him. I think he's a good actor. So I think that would have been awesome. I don't think they plan to do that. Did they plan to do that? Does anybody here know if they did plan to keep doing this and it just stopped because Rises wasn't like a good reaction or something? Or was it like that's just how they ended it and it was planned to be a trilogy? Do you guys know that? But anyway, yeah, great movie. Just wanted to make a quick reaction video to it. Thanks for listening. Like and subscribe. Have a good one, guys.